Hey everybody, let's have a quick chat about these Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles. I think it's safe to say that Jalen Hurts is out of the MVP conversation at this time, while Mr. Dak Prescott has elevated himself all the way to the top. And you saw kind of a microcosm of both of their seasons within this very game. Here you have Dak Prescott going through 3-4 reads almost every single pass play, unless it's a design short pass or there's pressure, he's got to get it out. The man's sitting in the pocket, the offensive line blocked really well, and he's progressing high to low on most of his reads. Meanwhile, Jalen Hurts on the other side, they are doing him no favors in Philadelphia as far as turning him into a pro-style passer. And when I say pro-style passer and a pro-style offense, what I mean is somebody who is able to dissect a defense high to low, go through multiple progressions, and figure out what the defense is doing and where to throw to the open receiver. It seems like in the limited film that I have watched of Jalen Hurts in this Eagles offense, most of this scheme is designed around RPO and getting the ball out quick. It's a simple scheme, and it allows all of the players, including Jalen Hurts, to capitalize on their athleticism. But what happens is when that scheme gets figured out, as we're seeing across the NFL this year, RPOs are much less effective. So then the question is, how does Jalen Hurts respond? If they're not allowing him to mature as a pocket passer, he doesn't have to be a pure pocket passer, to somebody who can read a defense top to bottom, somebody who can stand in and make the throws, which he can. He has a great arm, he's very accurate. But the question in college and the question now in the pros is, can he run a pro-style offense and progress? And the answer to that at this point is no. You look at all of his passing stats this season, he's ranked 10th and below in almost every single major passing category. While you see somebody like Dak Prescott, his first year in this new West Coast offense, he's ranked in the top 3, if not ranked 1 in almost every single metric. You cannot win MVP as a quarterback if your passing statistics suggest that you are a mediocre thrower of the football, which Jalen Hurts isn't. He can chuck a ball, he's very accurate like I said, but the problem is the offense in which he plays. And now, just like David Carr pointed out, Jalen Hurts seems to be playing with some sort of nagging leg injury. He's not as mobile. You saw in San Francisco and in Dallas, his rushing attempts are less and his rushing average is less. He's escaping the pocket less, and something just doesn't seem right. So as a Cowboys fan, I'm hoping that they don't fix whatever's going on with Jalen Hurts. But as somebody who appreciates the sport and recognizes talent, I think Jalen Hurts has immense talent. I think the Eagles need to slowly transition away from an RPO-style offense and develop him as a pro passer, somebody who can diagnose the defense and really understand the game top to bottom. Otherwise, Jalen's career is going to be wasted in Philadelphia. And now let's talk about Dak Prescott. Dak is leading the league, or at the minimum top 3 in almost every single passing category. He's one of the NFL leaders in air yards. You can go look at his passing charts. His throws are all over the field. He's completing passes to different receivers, different tight ends every single game. And he has complete command of the field. This is the first time in his career. Now, he's always been a good quarterback, but this is the first time in his career that I am calling Dak Prescott a field general. We saw in 2014 with Tony Romo, he was a field general. It was outstanding that year. Unfortunately, due to injury, that was his last year. Luckily for us Cowboys fans, Dak is a little more hardy. He got to this point, it seems like a little bit quicker in his career, and I think a lot of this has to do with Mike McCarthy, the quarterback whisperer. But it's looking like we have a very bright future ahead of us with Mr. Dak Prescott. And now in this offense, you have guys like Jake Ferguson. He has an attitude that is missing or has been missing from this team for some time. He is basically at this point an oversized wide receiver who makes key plays in very clutch moments in the game. You have Brandon Cooks getting involved. The Cowboys are stretching the field with him. And then you still have CD doing CD things. Gallup chimes in every now and then. Every time I rate Gallup off, he seems to do something really cool, like catching a deep ball down the left side of the field at the end of the game when they should just be running the clock out. What a ballsy throw. But that's the kind of stuff you can do when you trust your quarterback. The running game is now coming alive. And can we just take a minute, guys? I want all my Cowboys fans out here to take a deep breath and step back. A lot of you were criticizing Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and Will McClay during the trade deadline for not going out and grabbing somebody. You criticize them again for not shining Shaq Leonard. First off, Shaq Leonard is basically just a big name at this point. His film makes him look like Jalen Smith. He has no agility. He's a guy that has to meet the running back head on in the hole, or he's probably going to miss the tackle at this point. So no big deal there. But as far as the trade deadline stuff goes and all the criticism these guys received, they made their moves in the offseason. Could you imagine this team if they had lost Trayvon Diggs and didn't have Stephon Gilmore out there. I know he's older. Don't call him old man, or maybe do call him old man every week because it seems like that works pretty well. Could you imagine not having Gilmore? Could you imagine this offense? Look at the receiving core. Could you imagine what this offense would look like without Brandon Cooks? This offense really didn't get going until after the bye week when they figured out how to unleash Dak and how to make that connection between Dak and Cooks work. So I want everybody to take a deep breath and just stop where you're at and recognize the job that the ownership, the GM, all one and the same, and then Steven and Will have done to find talent not only in the draft, which we all know they're really good at, but also in free agency and making trades. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the season for the Cowboys. There's a bunch of different playoff scenarios out there. It's looking like Dallas, the most likely scenario will be the 5th seed, but there is a chance they could take the 1 or the 2, depending on what San Francisco and Philadelphia do. There is a decent chance, I'd say at this point, that the Giants might put up a fight in one of those 2 games against the Eagles. And you might also have the Seahawks as well, and Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. You never know. So there's definitely some possibility there for Dallas to finish number 1 in the East and maybe take that number 2 seed. And San Francisco, I mean, you never know. It just takes one weird game for them to lose that 1 seed, and all of a sudden Dallas has home games all throughout the playoffs, which would be absolutely clutch with the way they've been playing at home. But I wouldn't get your hopes up. It's looking like they probably, in all likelihood, will be the 5th seed, but we'll see how this season plays out. Thanks for watching the video, guys, and as always, catch you later.